speaking about the partner work stuff, how did you guys find like what dancing with a partner? Because speaking for myself, like the first time I ever had to dance with someone, it was like the most alien thing in the world, especially like doing hip hop. And then it was like bro, doing contact work, even like in college and stuff. I was like, what do you mean I have to touch someone? Like, well, and then what? Like, and then what happens? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And now I did a lot of it. I mean, we did some with you. I've done like some workshops and stuff. I've like done loads in my own rehearsals and stuff. Like, I love it now. And it's like, bro, if I had mental space or energy, I would work on like a whole contact duet and stuff. But that was like a whole journey for me, and like even figuring that out. But I guess I don't know if you had done it before, but you guys were kind of thrust into like, and go dance together. But like, how was that?
It was good, you know. Well, for me, I think that's where the contemporary bit comes in.
Okay, because you do a lot of that.
Yes, during the education BA thing, there was a lot of partner work, so I think I'm quite used to it. So I was quite comfortable. But that was me.
Yeah, me on the other hand,
Okay.
I'm really not used to partner work, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that guy, man.
Right.
Because I'm always in my head, I'm thinking, okay, what is this person gonna get me to do? Because I hate doing flips, and that's the first thing that pops into my head.
Don't make me
Get
flip.
me to do a flip or jump over into some random thing.
Right.
I'm a straight no.
Yeah.
But
I think I asked you. I was like, "What do you not want to do?" And
That's funny.
Did we do that?
we didn't do it.
Okay.
But to be honest, but last year, because again, he was on the spot, we just had to work with each other straight away. And I think because of the contrast of styles, I think it really worked, and I actually got to enjoy it. And especially when it was challenging, more so because you asked me to do something that I really don't do. Like,
What did she ask you? This sounds so dodgy.
yeah. In one of the rounds, she asked me to speak about my mum. And so
Oh yeah, I remember that.
she just
That was
had
actually
to
sick.
move to that.
Yeah.
And my brain stopped straight away. It's like, what am I gonna say, you know?
But you did great, bro. Like really great.
Yeah, it was really good. It was like spoken word art.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Oh, spoken word.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was lovely, man.
though,
It was really lovely.
But again, I think it's things like that like it helps you build and improve like really straight away. And again, you just have zero choice of the matter, especially in that battle sense.
Yeah.
You just have to adapt straight away. And
Yeah.
I think really last year I did think about, okay, I need to go back to doing some partner work.
Yeah.
'Cause I actually do need it.
Yeah, I think it's a good skill to have, even if you never really use it. It's just nice to learn. But how did you feel with it? Like, you said you felt fine doing it.
Yeah, it was good. I felt like because we're not the same, we don't come from the same dance backgrounds. We weren't competing. Like, we were so different, so it was just very complimentary of each other in that way. Yeah.
So, did you, when you guys worked together, obviously you hadn't really done anything partner work and you were quite comfortable. Did you think in your head like, or did you have techniques that you were like, okay, I know how to help someone get in the hang of this super quick? Or like, I need to take control and make us look like we can work together, so let me do this. Like, because you must have pulled that talk about your mum thing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, did you think of like, all right, here's different things that I can do to like make this work kind of thing?
Yeah, because I remember when we got the silence thing from the hat. You were like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Oh, you didn't want to dance on the silence? Okay.
I'm learning lots of things today.
So I was like, okay, how can we make that work together? So that's when I thought of the spoken thing.
Oh, that's how you did it when it was on the silence.
silence.
You said,
Because I wanted to do it together. I don't want to do it alone. I don't want to dance alone. So I was like, let's do this. And you were like, I don't want to do it.
Because I had one choice, you know, pick one.
Yeah.
And
But it worked. It worked. Yeah.
sick. And did you do much of like physically dancing together? No.
I don't think so. I think, you never know when you meet someone for the first time how it's going to go. So I think I maybe sussed it out a bit. I was like, is it going to work?
Yeah, to be honest, I think we felt like at the first few seconds we were kind of apart.
Yeah.
But then I think we really did adapt and get used to each other,
Yeah.
like really almost straight away. And then we just worked with each other from there. So it was just nearly all contact. And we could just kind of, I think we read each other really well as well. But yeah, and again, see what happens.
See what happens this time.
I mean, on
Yeah,
that
man.
topic, like we have a contact master. over here. He's like, but so what would you do in a situation if you were kind of dancing with someone who, let's say, like Nini or someone else who, or like a popper or someone who's a great dancer, a great freestyler, a great soloist, but is not used to dancing with someone, and you are used to dancing with someone? Is there stuff that you can do to try and bring that out of someone like live as it's happening, without obviously going and rehearsing and planning anything?
It's really interesting. I mean, it's a really, really good question, because you could be paired with another dancer and not find your chemistry.
Yeah. And
they're amazing. You're both dancers. You should, in theory, understand each other's language in some ways. Yeah. But even if you're listening or you're trying to find each other's energy, and you see in rehearsals or in creation, sometimes it's still not working.
Yeah.
And I've been in situations where I was improvising and I just grabbed someone from the audience, and it was just like water. And some people have the capacity to let go and really listen and go with you. So I think the first thing to do to answer your question would be, if we never dance together, I would probably try and read and listen as much as possible of this person. Because if I try to impose too much, or if I sense that they are not wanting to, or if I sense they want to lead or they want me to lead, that's got to be established quite early in the conversation. Because if you don't know, then you're clashing constantly. If you're both trying to lead, or if you're both listening to the point, there's no conversation, then it's not going to work. So you got to listen first, suss out who takes the lead, and then eventually you find the flow. I think there's a conversation that starts to happen, like question and answers. That's a really basic tool. You lead a bit, see whether they're taking the lead in return, and then they give it back, and there's an exchange that happens. And I would say look for the exchange, look for that conversation to take place by start to listen and see whether they're waiting for you or you're waiting for them, and then establish the conversation slowly.
Anything to add?
Agree.
You were nodding enthusiastically.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work, it's also okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like one thing that's like, maybe, I don't know, like if people are listening that have never tried it or don't kind of understand all the aspects of it, I think something that's important to like explain is what you were saying about listening and reading the other person. Because it's like when you're dancing with someone, it is kind of like a conversation where it's like with the touch or whatever, however you're connecting, one person is always, most of the time, one person is always leading you and telling you what to do. And it's the same with like partner dances, like Latin dances. I would imagine like you have the lead and then you have the follower, right? So, and I'm kind of saying this to you guys and you all know, but it's more for you guys at home. But like, so you have like someone that in any given moment, one person is kind of leading the touch and the movement and suggesting where to go, and the other person in an ideal situation is listening. And I think what I discovered, the more people I've tried this with, is that sometimes if you don't get that, it's like you're both doing this and you're both it's like we're going this way, no, we're going this way, and then it's just a mess. Or sometimes people that haven't done this a lot panic and don't leave space for something to happen.
That's right.
And and I probably learned parts of this from you, but like whenever we tried this in rehearsal, especially with people that are new, it was like, okay, the first thing is like, don't do anything. And then wait to see, like hold hands or put your hand on their head or wherever, however you establish the contact, but stop, but don't do anything and wait. And one of you will then, okay, we're going to go this way, or okay, we're going to go this way, or, you know, and then you establish, okay, I'm the leader. And then the other person's job is to, like you were saying, like listen in air quotes, which means like feel the touch and feel the intention through the touch. Like, okay, they're pushing me this way. That means we're going left. Oh, they want, like you, maybe if I start to put my hand on your lower back, it's like, oh, are we going for a lift? Okay, what's happening here? Where are they putting their weight? You know, and the more you can listen and understand that, then you're going to really have this harmonious movement, I think. But that's like a really fucking hard thing to get from my experience.
It's these what we're talking about are tools, and you need to practice with the tools.
Yeah.
For some people, it will feel a bit more natural, and for some, you know, and you could easily compare this to relationship. You know,
True.
If you give the space, if you make the space for it, and really make the effort for the conversation to take place.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that it's a bit like this. Oh, I've got those skills. Oh, this is how I move.
Yes.
And ego takes its place. And therefore, then there's a clash. And that clash often is easily resolved if you do exactly what you said. When you said, do nothing to begin with. But I understand that in a competition context, it's like you only have 2 minutes to do your thing. So give that space, but quickly.
Yeah. But you know what I love is like actually, and this is I never expected to even enjoy contact work, let alone like really be into it. That's not to say I'm any good at it, but I really enjoyed doing it. And I think one thing I found is that it's kind of, without sounding too artsy-fartsy, like it's kind of like meditation-esque almost. Because it's like, if you think about like, again, I don't know if you are going to cuss me out on this, but like with the like mindfulness meditation, like I guess the idea is to like be present in the moment and like not think ahead, not think in the past, just be like, I'm here right now, my body feels like this, I'm thinking this thing, but it's like presentness, I guess, right? And I think one thing I found through doing the contact stuff is like, the more, especially at the beginning, it's like what you tend to do, especially as like a popper or someone that does freestyle, is I didn't even realize I was doing this, but you tend to have like the next 4 counts at least kind of planned. Like you're starting this and you're like, right, I'm going into a waving section, or after this waving section, I'll probably go to the floor or whatever. And you kind of have a little plan. And I kind of found myself doing that when I'm dancing with someone and I'm like, oh, we're about to spin. But then the person would go over there and I'm like, no, we were about to spin. But obviously I'm not saying it, so they don't know. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, and then I think that like I've understood what they want. I'm like, okay, well, you want to go to the floor. And then I start going to the floor and they're like, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And so I found the way I made it work, like when it did work for me, I made it work by just being present and not thinking ahead, not thinking, oh, they're probably going to do this, or not trying to guess. Just like literally what are they doing right now? Or they're moving. Okay, I'm just going to accept this for what it is. Oh, now they're doing this. Okay, I'm going to go with that. And like not trying to plan or a thing. And it kind of got me in a really nice space of like, oh, all I'm thinking about is what this person in front of me is doing in this present moment and what I'm doing. And that's it. Like, you know, there's no thing else. And I was like, oh, this kind of feels nice, you know?
Yeah, that's such a great observation and comment. I would say what you see should inform you. It's your inspiration to respond to that. I think what the reason for clashes often is people try to stay in their lane or their way of doing things without feeding from what the other person is giving them.
Yeah. And it's also like a really good thing to just stop and let the other person move sometimes. Like, I think people panic, and I find this with performance and stuff in general. I think contemporary, it's maybe more part of the, I don't know what the word is, but like part of the understanding of dance, that stillness is important. Yeah. It's like, it's just a given. Like, you see it in performance when you watch contemporary performance, they use it all the time. When you learn, I think it's like it was taught when I did like some of my first contemporary classes, like why are we standing still for 8 counts? And it's just like, it's just part of the thing. But in hip hop, we don't really do that. We don't use stillness that much. And I think whether you're by yourself or with a partner, like just stopping is like super impactful and can help you gather where you are. And it actually connects to an audience really well, I think, as well.
Also, what you were saying about listening to the other reminds me of when it comes to contact work, most of the time, I feel like the human in the dancer comes out more because you have to listen. And you have to connect in a way that's not just about the movement, but do you know what I mean?
Kind of, but can you expand?
Yeah, because like you always have a plan as a mover. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. But when you're with someone else and you want to connect with someone, with us, I had to switch off my brain of like the dancer brain and just let it happen in the way that we would have a conversation in real life. Like, oh, I'm gonna say this now you can say this. So like the human in me comes out more when I'm with someone else.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Completely.
Do you find like you establish a different type of connection dancing with someone like that as opposed to like just a normal 2-on-2 or something? Yeah. He's like,
sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if I remember right from last year, again, that thing about the stillness, you know I just had to watch Chandini for a good few seconds. Okay, this is how she's moving. This is what she's doing. It was a bit weird. I had to kind of predict, like how she was going to do a certain movement or something like that. But man, I've lost track now.
About like establishing a connection.
Yeah, and it helped to get that connection, like really a lot more. So if I went to grab her hand, okay, don't move, dude. What is she going to do after?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're kind of waiting like, oh, I did something. Let's see what effect this has and where she takes it. Or if she doesn't, maybe the signal is keep going or whatever it might be. You know, yeah, sorry, go.
And I was just going to say, in a way, it was a little bit hard, but
Yeah.
again, yeah, it was cool.
I think it is. That's why I think it's so beautiful when you see two people, especially with like partner work in general, or just dancing with someone is amazing. But when you see especially contact work done like improved really seamlessly, it's so good because it's like, that's like, I don't know, it's like one of the hardest things for me because you're not, you know, there's one thing of being an amazing dancer and controlling your body, but like controlling your body to do amazing things while connecting with someone else is like,
different.
yeah, it's so nice to watch for me. But I think, you know, what made me think of with what you said about the human coming out is like, I feel like the tendencies that you have in contact work, again, I'm speaking as if I've done loads. I haven't, but just in my own rehearsals for fun with my friends, you know. But like the tendencies that you have in contact work tend to be the same tendencies that you have in real life. So like I found like the people that were, I'm not cussing my friends, but I am. But like the people that were like not taking cues and just are the people that don't listen as well in real life in conversation, or the people that were just listening and were waiting for the other person were the people that were maybe more timid and were like, didn't take the lead or take the initiative in real life. And I was like, I see, like, okay, our relationship in real life is coming out in our relationship through the dance, you know? And it made me think about my, like, okay, so like I'm dancing with you and it's like, all right, well, maybe I'm being really careful to like listen and understand, but it's like, all right, am I doing that like when we talk or in real life?
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know.
I think that also translates to our connection that we made during Create. Because I feel like if we would have met at another event and we did a 2v2 normally, I would have been like, okay, bye, done. We did that. And
Thanks for the
done.
money.
And I'll see you another time. But I feel like because we had that experience together and it worked out so well and we had a connection in the rounds, I felt more connected with you like afterwards. Like I see you now and I'm like, oh, hey, man,
so
good to see you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And the funny thing about I don't know if you remember that how we got to be a partner as well, because we wasn't even meant to be partners in the beginning, because you was with Max at that time and I was with Shelly, and a couple of the guys in the background say no.
Oh, they can't be together.
Yeah, because they.
With Max.
I was,
Yeah.
Oh, and they
was
made you
paired up with
switch?
Max, but then
We switched and boom, it's like okay,
sick.
damn, I'm not gonna lie, it was a good switch. I mean,
Yeah.
no offense to Shelly.
Yeah. But the connection worked out.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Yeah. Do you find stuff like that when you've done like a lot? Because you've probably done way more, especially in a more of a choreographic context. So are these kind of things like come across with the people that you work with, or like the connections that you make in the same way?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think this is very much the same when you enter the space and you go to an audition and then you're being given tasks, creative tasks. You meet people that you're not connecting with, and you'll meet people like, wow, who are you? It's like, it feels like I've known you all my life type thing. But it's like Chandani says, you know, it's the human in you. If you allow that to happen, then you discover new things about yourself as well, because you're combining these two being the dancer and the human. What we see in regular competitions a lot of the time is that you've just spent years working on building this other version of yourself, this character, this battle person. You've got all your techniques, your blow-ups, your whatever, and you go in with this. And I guess sometimes, I'm not just talking generally, that sometimes can limit your ability to connect with others, or on other platforms or in a different creative task.
Yeah.
Yeah.